Good evening and welcome to Woodstock City Council. It is Thursday, June the 21st, 2018. We have quite a full agenda and we will begin with some presentations. So, first order of business, any disclosure of conflict of interest? Seeing none. Any disclosure of new business? The minutes from the June 7th meeting.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Tate, that the minutes of the regular meeting of the Woodstock City Council held on June the 7th, 2018 be adopted.
Thank you. Any errors or omissions? Seeing none, you've heard the motion. All those in favor? Carries. Unanimous. And our first presentation, I will read about the Student Civic Award of Excellence from here in the chair, and then I will come forward. The recipient of the Woodstock City Council's 2018 Student Civic Award of Excellence is a prospective, passionate, insightful individual with a love of learning. This young woman has achieved and maintained an outstanding academic record throughout her high school career. She is a member of the Gifted and Talented Enrichment Program and has been a recipient of numerous academic and character awards. She has shown great initiative and is an excellent role model and leader. The recipient's multiple involvements with school and community revolve around her passion for musical theater and her accomplished skills in dance, acting, and vocals. Her school and community involvements include being a key member of the school's musical theater production since 2015, where she has had starring roles, a member of Woodstock Theatre's senior stages and cast productions, as well as other high school caliber productions. In the fall of 2018, she'll be attending University of Toronto in the Kinesiology and Physical Education program. For these reasons, Woodstock City Council extends congratulations and best wishes for continued success and awards the 2018 Student Civic Award of Excellence to Woodstock Collegiate Institute graduate Cassidy Davies. Please come forward. Welcome. You picked a good night to come. Packed house. Now, do you have a few words to say while I get this ready?
Hi. I won't do a dance for you, but I'm very appreciative of this award. I intend to use it to further my education and such. I thank all of my teachers for nominating me, I suppose. That's about all.
I mentioned earlier at the start of the meeting that we have a few presentations tonight as well. So I will stay down here. We are going to announce the winners for the 2018 Victoria Day Parade. And that was a great parade day. We were blessed with great weather here in the city, and many people lined the streets. There was a lot of great activity on all the floats. And I know my family enjoyed cycling in the parade again, which has become part of our tradition. Talked to a lot of young people at Southside Park after the parade was wrapped up, and they shared some exciting stories about some of the floats they had seen. And tonight we're going to recognize, we will start with our Business and Commerce category. First place, Woodstock Cooperative Dance School. Please come forward. And for our next category, it's Service Club, and it's Woodstock Rotary. Our next category is recreation. And did you bring your roller skates tonight? The Roller Derby Misfits, please come forward. Community service, and we have the Woodstock Boy Scouts. That's the 13th troop, right? 13th. For the school category, we have the Woodstock Christian School. They're here tonight. Don't see anyone here tonight. We'll hold on to that one for them. Let's see. We have Grand Champion. How much more weight do you think that little guy can carry? 13th Woodstock Boy Scouts. Thank you, everyone. And now we will start with our delegations. And our first delegation is the Friends of the Woodstock Art Gallery regarding the retirement of the Friends of the Woodstock Art Gallery. Lucy Carter, welcome.
I'll start. You ready? Yeah. Okay, great. Good evening, His Worship Mary Birch, City Council, and members of the audience. My name is Mary Reed, and I'm the Director-Curator of the Woodstock Art Gallery. I'm joined here tonight with members of the Woodstock Art Gallery Advisory Board, as well as members of the Friends of the Woodstock Art Gallery. We are here tonight to give a presentation on the commitment and dedication of the Friends of the Woodstock Art Gallery and to announce the committee's official retirement. I'd like to introduce Lucy Carter, who's a long-standing member of the Friends of the Woodstock Art Gallery, to give a brief history of this extraordinary organization.
Thank you, Mary, and thank you to members of council and your worship and members of I have to get first things first. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak to you about the history of the Woodstock Art Gallery. On June 5th of 1970, 6 women, 3 from Woodstock and 3 from Ingersoll, had a special luncheon on a Friday to form the Women's Committee of the Woodstock Art Gallery. The organization grew to 24 members during that afternoon. The basic basic committee had been formed a year and a half before with the purpose of creating a women's committee that would promote art in its many forms in the community and raise funds for the gallery. By 1973, when this newspaper article dates, the Women's Committee of the Woodstock Art Gallery had grown to 45 members and was holding 3 luncheon meetings each year with notable guest speakers. At that time, the Women's Committee was organizing and mounting 3 fundraising initiatives annually, which included the Arts Ball, a home tour, and an art mart. By 1977, the Women's Committee had over 50 members and decided to change the name to the Woodstock Art Gallery Volunteer Committee. And here in this slide is Florence Johnson with the then curator Jim Henderson. Florence was a niece of the notable painter Florence Carlyle and a Women's Committee member, donating an important work by her aunt to the gallery's permanent collection. It had become a priority of the Woodstock Art Gallery Volunteer Committee to raise funds to support the purchase of works for the gallery's permanent collection, in particular those created by Florence Carlyle and her contemporaries and students. During the last 50 years, the Friends of the Woodstock Art Gallery have played a vital part in the growth and development of the gallery, from the basement of the Woodstock Public Library to the historic manse, and now to the retrofitted Class A facility located on Dundas Street. A primary fundraising arm of the gallery, the Friends of the Woodstock Art Gallery have mounted countless special events, from dinners and dances to bingos and garage sales, to art cards and bus tours, and most recently, 2 very successful paint nights and a garden tour. The funds drawn from these activities have gone to support the acquisition of key pieces of the gallery's permanent collection and toward the Friends of the Woodstock Art Gallery Visual Arts Scholarship Award. Established in 1990, the Friends of the Woodstock Art Gallery created a scholarship award in the amount of $1,000 to be given to a graduating high school student from Oxford County who has received proof of acceptance and confirmation to attend an accredited post-secondary institution in the field of visual arts. And in this picture, there's one of our early recipients, don't know who she is, and the then Mayor, Margaret Munnick. Our recent 2017 recipient was Gillian Goulet, who went on to study at the Ontario College of Art and Design and has joined the Woodstock Art Gallery this summer as the Art Camp Assistant. Early in 2016, and in anticipation of the WAG's 50th anniversary, the Friends of the Woodstock Art Gallery identified it as a priority to mark this important occasion by assisting with the acquisition of works of art for the permanent collection. Having completed a survey of its membership, it was determined that the Friends of the WAG wanted to acquire work for the collection that was created by a female artist who grew up in Woodstock. The works presented here are by the late Bernice Vincent and Julie Voice. Created by 2 prominent women artists, these pieces extend the trajectory of the WAG's collection from historical painter Florence Carlyle to the present day. Recent purchases for the collection include the painting on the left by local artist Kathy Gruel and the collage on the right by another friend of the Woodstock Art Gallery Visual Arts Scholarship Award winner, Laura Bailowska. In addition, the Friends of the Woodstock Art Gallery have also supported other initiatives of the gallery, such as the gift shop, art rental, openings and receptions, film program, and the print shop. In recognition of our tireless efforts, I was very pleased to be part of the 5 representatives of the Friends of the Woodstock Art Gallery who were presented with the prestigious June Callwood Outstanding Award for Volunteerism in 2016. We were nominated for this award by the Woodstock Art Gallery Advisory Board. In summary, the impact the Friends of the Woodstock Art Gallery have had over 50 years is tremendous. Most importantly, in the number of volunteer hours devoted, particularly due to the gallery's limited staff resources. I am very proud to be a member and contributor to this outstanding group of women. It has been an honor and a privilege to be involved with this organization. As the gallery evolved, so has volunteerism because of the hard work of the staff and support of City Council. After much deliberation, the bittersweet decision was made on April 20th, 2018, for the Friends of the Woodstock Art Gallery to formally retire on November 10th, 2018. However, many of us plan to continue our commitment as volunteers of the gallery on an individual basis. Thank you for your time, and I'll now turn this over to Mary Reid, Director and Curator. Thanks, Mary.
Thanks very much, Lucy. On behalf of the Woodstock Advisory Board and staff, I want to thank all of the Friends, both past and present, for their dedication and commitment to the importance of arts in this community. And now, if I'm allowed to, I'm going to ask all of the Friends of the Woodstock Art Gallery to please stand. Come on, guys. This is your moment. And I would like, in recognition of all their hard work, to give them a very heartfelt applause. So as mentioned, as part of our fall exhibition openings in November, we will be doing an appropriate acknowledgement of the Friends' retirement. But as per the report submitted, upon their official retirement, the Friends of the Woodstock Art Gallery will have just in excess of $4,000 in their account, and have requested that these funds be transferred to the City of Woodstock to be established as a reserve fund for which the Friends of the Woodstock Art Gallery Visual Arts Scholarship Award will be continued to be allocated. And here we see our 2016 winner, Caitlin Rabb, who went on to the University of Guelph. It is suggested that this reserve fund be named in honor of the Friends, and it would be the Friends of the Woodstock Art Gallery Legacy Fund. And we would ask past members and supporters of the Friends of the Woodstock Art Gallery to still encourage support through direct donations to this reserve fund for the purpose of sustaining the Visual Arts Scholarship Awards. And there's certainly more details in the report that I've provided. So with that, I'd like to thank Council's attention regarding this important announcement, and once again thank the Friends of the Woodstock Art Gallery for 50 years. It's an extraordinary number of dedicated service to arts in our community. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And our next delegation is HOC Holdings regarding the 385 Dundas Street and a request to extend dates. Welcome.
Thank you. Reason I'm here just to bring to attention where we are at with the whole project. So we have, I know nobody wants to look at the eyesore, neither do I. It's just that we're stuck in the environmental. So we've got A&A Environmental that's dealing with all the to put together a record of site condition, and we've had to go this length of time only because of how long it takes to quantify where all the contamination is and how deep it goes. So we are at the end of that process right now, and unfortunately there's no way of telling how long it is until all the tests are done. So they have to keep going back testing. It's new to me as well, but it's a really time-consuming process that unfortunately we got stuck into because of the site contamination. So we are actively working on it. We've got, we're at the final ends of where we are at for the testing, and now we've got a proposal ready to put to record of site to the Ministry of Environment. So I was just here to explain and support the extension for the agreement, please. And I appreciate everyone's patience.
Thank you. Questions of council? Seeing none. So we will deal with that under Report E2. Thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you very much.
And no resolution on our other delegation. It'll be dealt with under Report 13A. So our next item on the agenda is consideration of planning reports, and we have an application for zone change at 1403 Dundas Street. Councillor Tate.
I'll move that Woodstock City Council approve the application for zone change submitted by Tiger Cat International for lands described as Part Lots 13 and 14, Concession 1, Parts 1, 3, and 4, Part 1 in the City of Woodstock, whereby the lands are proposed to be rezoned from General Industrial Zone to Special General Industrial Zone to recognize the existing motor vehicle dealership and ensure consistent zoning across the newly enlarged parcel. Oops. And further that Woodstock City Council refer the zoning bylaw amendment to the bylaws portion of the meeting, and further that no comments were received from the public regarding this application.
Thank you. And the seconder, Councillor Lauder. Ms. Hassler.
Thank you. The first application is ZN 8-18-03, and it was submitted by Tiger Cat International for lands located at 1403 Dundas Street. And the application for zone change proposes to rezone the lots to be severed and enlarged by consent application B18-22-8 from General Industrial Zone M3 to Special General Industrial Zone M3-26 to recognize the existing motor vehicle dealership on the subject lands and to ensure the zoning of the lands is consistent across the newly enlarged parcel. The related application for consent was approved by the County Land Division Committee on June 7th, subject to a number of conditions, and one of the conditions would be that that the lands be rezoned. The lot to be severed comprises 1.4 hectares and is currently vacant of any buildings or structures, and the lot to be enlarged, which the lot to be severed will be added to the lands to the immediate south, and it is approximately 0.9 hectares and contains the existing motor vehicle dealership, which is the Ford dealership. For council's information, the applicant is proposing to establish a parking lot on the rear portion, which is the lands to be severed. Planning staff are satisfied that the application is consistent with the policies of the provincial policy statement, as the application will facilitate the expansion of an existing employment use within a serviced settlement area. It'll promote an efficient use of existing infrastructure and public service facilities and provide an opportunity to develop an existing underutilized brownfield site. Planning staff are therefore satisfied that that the proposed development is consistent with the PPS policies. Additionally, the existing dealership was established under the old zoning bylaw and therefore is now considered a legal non-conforming use. And as such, we consult the policies of 10.3.5 in the official plan, which basically, when we consult those policies, we ensure that extending a legal non-conforming use doesn't have any sort of implications to the neighboring area with respect to anything that would be hazardous or contribute to air, water, or land pollution. Additionally, because the use has been around since 2010, we're satisfied that there is a level of compatibility with this use and surrounding uses, which are generally industrial and service commercial type uses. And therefore, we're satisfied that the proposal is also consistent with the OP policies. And in light of the foregoing, staff are satisfied that the application can be given favorable consideration.
Thank you. Questions of council? Seeing none, you've heard the motion. All those in favor? Carries. Unanimous. And our next application for zone change is Woodall Way for De Jong Management Incorporated. Councillor Petter.
I move the Woodstock City Council approve the recommended zoning bylaw amendment file ZN 8-1808 for lands comprising Lot 14, Concession 1, Blandford, and Parts 2, 3, and 5 to 9, 41R 9327 in the City of Woodstock, whereby the lands are proposed to be rezoned from Special General Industrial Zone M32 to Special General Industrial Zone M327 to permit a cartage express or truck terminal in addition to the range of uses permitted in the M32 zone. And further, that Woodstock City Council refer the zoning bylaw amendment to the bylaws portion of the meeting and further, that no comments were received from the public regarding this application.
Councillor Shapton. Ms. Hashler.
Thank you. So the next application for zone change is, as Councillor Petter said, as at an 8-18-08, and it was submitted by the City of Woodstock on behalf of the applicant, who is De Jong Management Incorporated. The applicant is seeking to rezone the subject lands from Special General Industrial Zone M3-2 to an amended zone which will permit a cartage express and truck terminal in addition to the range of uses already permitted in the M3-2 zone. The subject lands comprise approximately 8.3 hectares or 20.5 acres and are currently vacant of any buildings or structures. As the proposal will promote efficient use of existing infrastructure, a mix and range of employment uses, and diverse economic base, planning staff are satisfied that the proposed development is consistent with the policies of the PPS. Additionally, the proposal will permit an industrial use that provides distribution and support services to existing businesses, which is permitted by the relevant policies of the official plan. Staff are of the opinion that the use is considered to be complementary and compatible with the existing and planned industrial uses in the area. If council supports the proposal, any future development on the subject lands will be subject to site plan approval to address matters such as setbacks, parking, landscaping, lighting, and access. Additionally, it has been indicated to the applicant that a noise study will be required to address any potential noise issues that could affect the Lunar subdivision to the immediate north. Staff are satisfied that the proposal is, or the development proposal is in keeping with the relevant provisions of the M3 zone as well. In light of the foregoing, staff are satisfied that the application can be given favorable consideration.
Thank you. Questions of council? Seeing none, you've heard the motion. All those in favor? Carries. Unanimous. And our next item is the application for zone change for 75 Graham Street. Councillor Lauder.
I'll move that Woodstock City Council approve the proposed zoning bylaw amendment file ZN 8-18-04 for lands comprising lots 6 to 10, west side of Graham Street, Plan 10, DA Parts 1-3, RP 41R-3093 in the City of Woodstock to rezone the subject lands from Community Facility Zone CF to Special Community Facility Zone CF-17 to add a business and professional office as well as research establishment to the permitted uses, and further that no comments were received from the public regarding this application.
Thank you. And the seconder, Councillor Petter. Ms. Hashler.
Thank you. So our final zone change tonight is at an 8-18-04, and it was submitted by the County of Oxford for lands located at 75 Graham Street, which we also refer to as the County Courthouse Square. The application seeks to rezone the subject lands from community facility to special community facility to permit a business and professional office as well as a research establishment in addition to the existing permitted uses. The applicant is proposing to establish the additional uses to facilitate a community innovation center on the subject lands. And for council's information, the intent of the Community Innovation Center is to provide research, office, meeting rooms, and other public and private spaces for entrepreneurs, new and smaller companies focusing on the development of sustainability initiatives to aid in reducing costs as their company and research evolves. The subject lands are comprised of approximately 2.1 hectares or 5.1 acres and are occupied by 7 buildings, including the county courthouse. The proposed uses are intended to specifically at this point in time occupy the building located at 75 Graham Street, which we also refer to as the old registry office, or sorry, former registry office. However, at this point in time, we are proposing to rezone the entire property to allow for the flexibility for the site in the future. Staff are satisfied that the proposal is consistent with the relevant policies of the PPS, as the proposed uses will promote economic development and competitiveness in the downtown area and will also contribute to a mix and range of uses in the uses permitted in the area. Planning staff are also satisfied that the proposed uses are consistent with uses that are contemplated for the Central Business District in the official plan. And the Central Business District area is intended to accommodate the full range of commercial, office, administrative, cultural, and entertainment, recreational, and institutional uses. Staff are also satisfied that these uses are compatible with uses in the area as well as uses that are proposed for the area. Additionally, the manager of building and facilities has indicated that the existing parking can be considered legal non-conforming and therefore no additional parking is required at this point in time. As such, staff are satisfied that the application can be given favorable consideration.
Thank you. Questions of council? Seeing none, you've heard the motion. All those in favor? Carries. Unanimous. Thank you. Our next item on the agenda is the OILC debenture. Councillor Shapton.
Thank you, Your Worship. Moved by myself, the Woodstock City Council refer the OILC loan report to the bylaws section of the meeting.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Petter. Discussion? Seeing none, you've heard the motion. All those in favor? Carries. Unanimous. And our next item is the Business Improvement Area Special Charges. Councillor Tate.
I'll move that Woodstock City Council approve the BIA tax rates and the necessary bylaw be read.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Lauder. Discussion? Seeing none, you've heard the motion. All those in favor? Carries. Next item on the agenda is the Statement of Revenue and Expenditure for the period ending May 31st, 2018. Councillor Lauder.
I'll move that Woodstock City Council receive the Statement of Revenue and Expenditure for the period ending May 31st, 2018 as information.
Thank you. And a seconder, Councillor Shapton. Discussion? Seeing none, you've heard the motion. All those in favor? Carries. Next item on the agenda is engineering, and we have the Vincent Street Reconstruction Contract Tender Award. Councillor Shapton.
Thank you, Your Worship. Moved by myself, the Woodstock City Council award the tender for the reconstruction of Vincent Street to Viewcon Construction Limited in the amount of $1,017,519.82 inclusive of HST.
Thank you. And seconded by Councillor Petter. Discussion? Seeing none, you've heard the motion. All those in favor? Carries. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the Woodstock Museum Collection Management Policy. Councillor Lauder.
I'll move that Woodstock City Council adopt policy CS004, Museum National Historic Site Collections Management as amended.
Thank you. And a seconder, Councillor Tate. Discussion? Seeing none, you've heard the motion. All those in favor? Carries. Next item is the new physician recruitment contract. Councillor Tate.
I'll move that Woodstock City Council direct staff to initiate a physician recruitment contract with the 2018 budgeted amount, and further that City Council establishes the physician recruitment initiative in the amount of $50,000 to be deemed as a base budget program for the 2019 budget year.
Thank you. And seconded by Councillor Lauder. Discussion? Councillor Shapton. Oh, we'll start with Councillor Tate.
Just through the chair, just a comment. I mentioned this before. We're obviously not the only municipality that is without doctors. I think I read there's 1 million people in Ontario without doctors. It's very difficult right now with the way that it's set up with the province, but hopefully this is a small step in the right direction.
Thank you. Councillor Lauder.
I just wondered if, through the chair, to Mr. Hammond, if he would like to speak to this, since he has had a lot to do with this recruitment project.
Thank you, Your Worship. Through to the question. Yeah, so I guess the reason the City of Woodstock's becoming involved in this is it's no secret that there's a problem recruiting family physicians to Woodstock. Over the last 10 years or so, I think we've recruited 3 new family physicians. 2 of those have simply replaced doctors that are retiring, and there's 1 new one now. So really, we've only had the net gain of 1 new physician in a little over 10 years. The problem is going to continue to increase. A number of the physicians that are practicing today will be retiring within the next 10 years, we expect, based on demographics. And as well, our population's been growing. So based on the last census period, the population growth that took place in Woodstock, there's the need for 3 new family physicians there. It's a problem that's been around for a while, and obviously it's not going to solve itself. So we bring this report forward tonight, looking to try something different, looking to undertake an initiative that other communities have followed, where they hire a physician recruitment person that's dedicated to and tasked with trying to address the problem And the role will be a lot like economic development, being available to answer inquiries, host people when they're in the community, follow up and provide the information that will help those physicians make the decision to move their practice here. So this is the reason we're involved in it. We should expect that it will take a while to start to move the needle. It involves building relationships, and people don't make these decisions quickly. But based on the success of other communities, I think we can expect to see results in the not too distant future.
Thank you, and thanks for the time that you are able to spend on this. Thank you.
Thank you. Further questions of council? Seeing none, you've heard the motion. All those in favor? Carries. Unanimous. Next item is the further extension agreement of purchase and sale for 381 Dundas Street. Councillor Petter.
Move that Woodstock City Council authorize the mayor and clerk to sign an amending agreement with HOC Holdings Limited regarding 381 Dundas Street as described in the report.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Shapton. Discussion? Seeing none, you've heard the motion. All those in favor? Carries. Next item on the agenda is the Friends of the Woodstock Art Gallery. Councillor Lauder.
I'll move that Woodstock City Council approve the establishment of the Friends of the Woodstock Art Gallery Legacy Fund and direct that Woodstock Art Gallery Advisory Board's bylaw be amended to incorporate the annual adjudication of the Friends of the Woodstock Art Gallery Visual Arts Scholarship Award.
Thank you. And a seconder, Councillor Shapton. Discussion? Seeing none, you've heard the motion. All those in favor? Carries. Next item on the agenda is new business. Councillor Shapton.
Thank you, Your Worship. Moved by myself, whereas the intersection of Halifax Road and Springbank Avenue is presently a two-way stop on Halifax Road, and whereas there is increasing traffic volumes and no designated pedestrian crossing, and whereas there's been 4 motor vehicle collisions at this intersection, and whereas the recent completion of Ludington Park will result in increasing numbers of children and pedestrian traffic, therefore be it resolved that Woodstock City Council direct staff to serve public notice in accordance with the Municipal Code Chapter 180 of the potential installation of traffic calming and pedestrian crossing safety measures at this intersection, and further that staff be directed to report to City Council with the result of the public consultation.
Thank you. And a seconder, Councillor Petter. Discussion, Councillor Shapton.
Thank you, Your Worship. I wanted to bring this forward. I have received several complaints with regards to this intersection, and having spent some time out there looking at the reports and understanding the process that's involved to bring this to a public consultation. But truthfully, it was a conversation with our CAO, Mr. Creary, with regards to the design of other communities, specifically Kitchener-Waterloo, Cambridge, and why they have either roundabouts or 4-way stops so often. And it was Mr. Curry that brought to my attention that it was because of public consultation and that they were installed for those reasons. So I felt this is extremely important, especially considering it's such a long, excessive stretch of straight road with no traffic stop in either direction. And now with the installation of Ludington Park, we need a safe place for children and families to cross. And also because this is the new park in the area, I think it's important to realize that other families from other areas are coming there. So I wanted to bring this up and take it to public consultation.
Thank you. Councillor Petter.
Through the mayor, I just want to thank Councillor Shapton for bringing this motion up. I'm quite familiar with this area. Some of the guys can't drive very well. No, the area is quite congested now. As this area has been built up, I've watched it build, and it continues to build out in that area, and Councillor Shapton's quite right. There's 2 long stretches of road that it just doesn't seem like the intersection is the way it should be. I'm glad that it's been brought up as public consultation so that we can figure out the best way to handle it rather than jumping the gun and doing something impulsive. Take a look, find out what the neighborhood thinks needs to be done, look at the reports, and hopefully fix that intersection. Thanks.
Thank you. Further discussion? Seeing none, you've heard the motion. All those in favor? Carries. Next item on the agenda is the bylaws. Councillor Lauder.
There's a lot of them. I'll move by myself and seconded by Councillor Tate that the following bylaws be given first and second reading. 9210-18, a bylaw to appoint posthumous poet laureate for the City of Woodstock. 9211-18, a bylaw to amend zoning bylaw number 8626-10 as amended, ZN 8-18-03-1403 Dundas Street. 9212-18, a bylaw to amend zoning bylaw number 8626-10 as amended, ZN 8-18-04 75 Graham Street. 9213-18, a bylaw to amend zoning bylaw number 8626-10 as amended, ZN 8-18-08 Woodall Way. 9214-18, a bylaw to amend the City of Woodstock Municipal Code Chapter 93, Clerk Deputy Appointment. 9215-18, a bylaw to provide for the sale of certain lands owned by the Corporation of the City of Woodstock to Viewcon Construction Limited, Commerce Way. 9216-18, a bylaw to authorize the submission of an application to Ontario Infrastructure and Lands Corporation, OILC, for financing certain ongoing capital works of the Corporation of the City of Woodstock, the lower tier municipality, to authorize temporary borrowing from OILC to meet expenditures in connection with such works, and to authorize long-term borrowing for such works through the issue of debentures by the County of Oxford, the upper tier municipality, to OILC. 9217-18, a bylaw to approve the estimates for the Board of Management for the Business Improvement Area for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2018. It's Councillor Tate. Moved by myself, second by Councillor Tate, that the following bylaws be given third and final reading. 9210-18 through 9217-18 inclusive.
You've heard the motion. All those in favor? Carries. And for tonight, for the question and addresses, since we have family members here of Barry Butson's, including his wife, Donna Butson, I'll read what we approved tonight with the bylaw. Council of the Corporation of the City of Woodstock enacts as follows: that the late Barry Butson be and the same is hereby appointed posthumously as Poet Laureate of the City of Woodstock, that the name and work of the Poet Laureate will be available for use at official ceremonies and city events, to sponsor and to be featured at poetry readings and to be presented at related occasions at the request of the Mayor and Council, that the Poet Laureate shall be an unpaid position, and that this bylaw comes into effect immediately, dated today. And I look forward to the first reading from one of your family members on July 1st. So you have a few days to look through some of the great works and select a poem that you would feel would be appropriate for Canada Day, and we'll be in touch with you again. And tonight, for closing comments, we'll start with Councillor Tate.
Just if the city engineer could just comment on the successful first day yesterday at the depot.
Your Worship, through to the councillor. Yeah, the Enviro Depot opened yesterday for the first time. It's currently in its summer hours, so Wednesday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., Saturday 10 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Yeah, yesterday went smoothly. We had a little over 150 cars through, filled up 3 bins of bulk items already. I managed to make it up there again this afternoon for about an hour, and it was still a steady stream of people going through. It was good.
Thank you. Councillor Lauder.
Thank you. I'm still pushing the hospital golf tournament. If there's anyone would like to form a team from here, it's the 20th anniversary for the tournament. In celebration, there will be a 20,000 hole-in-one prize, and also having a shootout for $1 million. So anyone that can get out there and golf, there can't be a pro. So, and Thanks to the three churches, Dundas Street United, College Ave United, and St. David's United. Their barbecue on Saturday evening raised enough funds to pay for the material to repair the tombstones that were damaged at the Hillview Cemetery. So it was great. People came together, and it was just a great evening, and it was a total sellout quite a while before the day. And there's lots of activities going on this summer for children: the library, the art gallery, the museum, swimming, the list goes on. Just check what's on Woodstock. And the art gallery has an opening on July the 18th from 5 to 7, and it's a Visual Elements annual juried exhibition, and it includes Woodstock Gallery, the Ingersoll Gallery, and the Tillsonburg Gallery. And thank you. Oh, there's one more. The Legion. I was at the opening, as you were, and Councillor Tate, and it was a lovely afternoon, and it was more wonderful for the Legion members because Mr. Van Haren wrote the debt off of approximately $300,000. So that was just fabulous. The people were almost in tears. In fact, some of them were at that announcement, and we're just so proud of what was done for them. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Petter.
Just one issue. I have an apology. I have to apologize to Chili Charlie and Wiart and Willie and Puxatawny Phil. I kind of beat on the little rodents there a couple of months ago because winter wouldn't stop. Well, I was shocked to hear that today was the first day of summer because we've kind of had summer for the last month. So obviously we're just going to go from winter to summer now with no more spring. But with that in mind, I just want to remind people, our traffic is probably as heavy as it's ever been. We have a lot of construction, and even though it drives us crazy, we have to fix roads during this time of the year. But I see so many bicycles, e-bikes, motorcycles, scooters, you name it. There's so many on the road, and please take that 30 seconds rather than pass them when you shouldn't pass. Just give them room, wait for them, they'll get out of the way, or the cars coming the other way will stop. So please give them as much room as you can. There's a lot out there. There are kids, there are disabled people that need those vehicles on that particular stretch. So please give them all the room you can. Thanks.
Thank you. Councillor Shapton.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just a few quick things. First of all, that 1 week today, school is out. And if you're a parent like myself, you're probably trying to figure out what you're going to do with your kids for the next 8 weeks. Hopefully you've got a plan together, and it'll go well. But more importantly, just realize that they are out there. Slow down. Take your time. We have a lot of incredible parks out there that they'll be running to, and to some awesome facilities in our community. But more importantly, I hope that everyone has a great and safe summer, and that they get an opportunity to explore Woodstock and all the great things that we have going on. And I know Councillor Lauder has already touched on it, but just incredible to see a phenomenal family in our community, the Van Harens, specifically Bill and Tony, for once again just giving back such an incredible donation and gift to the Legion, and their new facility is just phenomenal. So we have so many people like that in our community, but that's just a great gift. So with that, have a great month, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you. And a motion to adjourn. Councillor Shapton, seconded by Councillor Petter. All those in favor? We are adjourned.